Appreciate y'all. We love y'all. I'm Jamar McKeel.
I'm James
And
Gerald.
y'all just got served with J&J Sports. Happy New Year.
Shout out to J&J. So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
Watching content like what y'all put up. So yeah, let's rock and roll, brothers.
Well, I know you wanted to talk about the Green Bay Packers, right?
Let's do it. Yeah. So, what you want to do? Outlook first, or because I got thoughts about the Rashan Gary trade specifically. I'm a little y'all familiar with them. They traded
what happened with the trade?
So the Packers traded Rashan Gary to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th round pick. This is where I have my issue, right?
Okay.
As soon as he gets to the Cowboys, they restructure his contract so he gets a little bit less yearly money. He keeps his guaranteed money. But Rashan Gary, he's not a game wrecker. He's not a Myles Garrett type. But, I mean, last season he was on, like, the upper end of above average. He's a net positive edge rusher for the Packers, 7.5 sacks, like 55 pressure, something like that. So, defensive ends, edge rushers, good ones, are a hot commodity in the NFL.
Yeah.
But then the Packers only go and get a 4th round pick for him. Yeah. And so I'm a little disappointed with their haul on that. That makes me think that they didn't want to re-sign him. Maybe they think that he's going to regress this year because, I mean, if we're being honest, Dallas kind of got a steal at least based on his stats for the last couple of seasons for a 4th round pick. So not super happy with that trade there.
I can see where it is.
Yeah. But overall, I think the Packers will still be fine going into next season. We lose Greg Halfley to the Dolphins as defensive coordinator, but we hire Jonathan Gannon from the Cardinals, who I think he didn't do that great of a job as a head coach, but I think he's kind of like Mike McDaniels, not as good as Mike McDaniels, but Mike McDaniels is an offensive coordinator, nobody better in the league, right? Yeah. Gannon as the Packers' new defensive coordinator, I think that I'm really excited to see what he can do with the team because the Packers had a pretty good defense last year, and I'm hoping that he can keep that going. But yeah, just as far as the Packers going forward next season, I'm not breaking any new ground here, but it really all depends on what version of Jordan Love we get on a week-to-week basis. Most teams that applies to, if your quarterback plays well, the team is going to do well.
Yeah.
But Jordan Love has just these two polar opposites where one week he might have a stat line of, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he just looks like an all-pro. Next week he's throwing 3 interceptions and no touchdowns, 180 yards, and he's taking the Packers out of games,
Gotcha. So it's not consistent.
Yeah, he's not consistent, exactly. And so Packers have a really good team. They have a really good defense. I think it all just depends on how well Jordan Love plays, And again, I think that's true for a lot of teams. Your quarterback determines how good you're going to be, but the Packers have such a good team in most every other area. We've got a good offensive line. Defense is good. The only areas we're really lacking is wide receiver. Romeo Dubes leaves in free agency, signs with the Patriots. But get Jaden Reed back. But it really all just depends on what version of Jordan Love we get. Yeah. I think.
I'm really curious if we saw Jordan Love starting like from when he was first drafted.
Yeah.
How does he look differently?
I don't know because I'll be honest, I didn't pay a ton of attention to Jordan Love when he was at, I believe it was Utah State.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually pretty surprised by that pick when they made it. I think it certainly can't hurt sitting behind a Hall of Fame quarterback for 2 years, especially one like Aaron Rodgers, so much knowledge of the game. He did the same thing under Brett Favre. So I think that Jordan Love's development, to what degree I can't say, but I think it is stunted if Jordan Love were just thrown into the fire right then and there by the Packers. I think he benefited greatly from sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
I mean, it was him and Caleb Williams. They were kind of the talks because I know they kind of came in the game and at kind of around the same time.
Yeah.
Like, what are these guys going to do? Now we see Caleb. He had a great season.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think they should have just threw him in the fire just to see. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If he can handle NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he would have ultimately acclimated, but I think the growing pains for Love would have been because I think it pains me to say this, but I think Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. So Caleb Williams coming in and just starting off rip season before last.
Yeah.
I think he did pretty well because he's such a talented quarterback. So
They kind of were doubting him, but then he got some time to develop, and now everybody's back on the wagon. So I knew he was gonna do something. He just needed some time. Me and James kind of covered him, for a little minute. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Bears next season. Again, it pains me to say this, but I mean it's the Bears division to lose. I think Caleb Williams is a really talented quarterback, and if he takes another leap next year, I think he'll be top 5 quarterback in the league, if not top 3, something like that. I mean, he reminds me a lot of kind of a younger Aaron Rodgers, where he has like the ability to use his legs and extend plays, like no other quarterback,
Absolutely.
So
I remember watching him in the playoffs against Dallas, and I didn't expect a whole lot from our defense, but I definitely didn't expect to get beaten the way that we did. And watching him, it made me really nervous going forward for the next 5-7 years in the NFC, because if we face these people in the playoffs again, it's not going to be easy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know. I remember you're talking about the game in 2023, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's like upper end Jordan Love, where I want to say his exact stat line was 21 for 26, so only 5 incompletions, 3 touchdowns, 285 yards. I mean, that's just surgical. You've got almost 300 yards on 21 completions, no picks, right? That's the upper end of Jordan Love, and that had me really excited. I mean, he just got done dicing up the Dallas defense. They would go on to lose to the 49ers, but I was like, we'll be back next year. Jordan Love will take another step. And he didn't become bad or anything, but he just can't recreate that sample on a week-to-week basis, you know? And last year, perfect example was against the Carolina Panthers. Bad team, bad defense. Yeah. And then we go and lose 13-10 because Jordan Love has 3 interceptions, no touchdown, and just completely took the Packers out of the game.
You never want to lose to them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, speaking of... Hey, it's James Jerwitz from J&J Sports. Make sure you check out our episodes that are now on Spotify, and shout out to Barracks.
J&J Sports.
Keeping it slick in 2026.